Alice in Wonderland, Scene 4, The Queen's Garden. You start. Oh, but I can't talk. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to frighten you. Oh, silly. I guess you just haven't been aware enough to notice. Why, yes, of course. Feel the ground and you'll see for yourself. The reason why most flowers don't talk is because the ground is so soft they fall asleep. Yes, we're very delicate things. Sometimes, if you get close enough, you can hear them snoring. Well, we have the trees. What else are they good for? They could bark. Yes, they have much more bark than bite. They would bark bow wow. That's why their branches are called boughs. Didn't you know that? Of course. So there is no reason to fear. Thank you. I like your color. But you'd look better if your petals curled up a little more. You should meet my sisters. They would just adore meeting someone new. I'll go get them. Well, this was quite lovely, but we must be off. We hope to see you again. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful golden afternoon. Goodbye. End of scene 4, and here is scene 5, the Queen's Royal Courtyard. You start. Oh, excuse me, Mum. You might not want to be doing that. They are wet with paint. Yes, we did. Quiet! If this gets out, it's our heads to pay. She looks like she wouldn't tell anyone. Will you, Mum? I don't like the look of her. Well, let's finish the job. Mind your own business, miss. I say, if everybody minded their own business, the world would go around a deal faster than it does. Speaking of axes, we better get moving. The fact is, you see, Mum, today is the day when the Queen comes each year and looks at the garden and announces it to be springtime here in Wonderland. And these here roses ought to have been red roses, but we planted white ones by mistake, and if the Queen were to find it out, we would have our heads cut off, you know. Yes, normally with other flowers the Queen would, "Hey, look out now, Three, don't go splashing paint all over me like that." Well, maybe the splashing would stop if you'd keep working. We only have a few left. But I'm talking to this little girl here. Work and talk, you blubbering buffoon. Anyway, red roses are the Queen's favorite, so the most severe punishment will come to anyone who tampers with them. But we can avoid that if you'd hurry up. Yes, he's in a bit of extra trouble right now. The other day he brought in to the cook tulip roots instead of onions for the Queen's soup. The Queen let him off with a warning, which is extremely rare for the Queen. But if he does anything within the next year to upset the Queen, he's done for. Well, red is her favorite color. Of course. How would you like a piece of you plucked off? I know I want to keep all of me together. Tough, you deserve it. Ignore him. 2, 3, where have you been? What are you doing? The Queen is on her way. The Queen! The Queen! Hide this! Announcing Her Imperial Highness, Her Grace, Her Majesty, Her Excellency, the Queen of Hearts. Oh, they bloomed, how lovely, the most beautiful. What is this? Paint? Who did this? Who painted my roses red? Guards, line up. As far as I know, as my gardeners, you were the only ones with access to my glorious garden. Therefore, you are all under the highest suspicion. Now, whoever it is, you shall be dealt with accordingly. Whoever painted the roses, step forward now. Well then, your stains shall find you out. Hands up, all of you. Clear, clear. I don't want to know. Clear. Ah, we have our culprit. The stains don't lie. Off with his head. Oh, you weren't alone, I see. How dare you create treachery in such a way? Off with their heads. And who is this? It's a girl, your majesty. I know it's a girl. After all, I happen to be one. Now, what is your name, my girl? Look up, speak nicely, and don't twiddle your fingers. Turn out your toes, curtsy, open your mouth a little wider when you speak, and always say, yes, your majesty. Very good. Now, Alice, is it? Where are you from, Alice? England, England. Oh, yes, I've heard of it. They always do things in the present. For instance, running, talking, cooking, etc. Hence the name. Fermez la bouche. It means be quiet, not get me a bush. Cards, they don't make them like they used to. Now, England, yes, lovely country. So I've heard. A queen never travels, you know. But you obviously do. Travel, that is. What made you come here? The White Rabbit? What were you doing in England? Me? I was, running late, your majesty. Yes, indubitably. Thank you. Rabbits, cards, you are excused. Thank you. Now, my dear, what do you plan on doing now that you have arrived here? Curtsy while you're thinking. It saves time. I did not know. Don't assume things. That's all right, my girl. You have the most beautiful eyes and the most adorable face. But your hair wants cutting. Well, we could start with my lovely garden. You've already seen the garden? Well, do you know any poems? Well, recite one for me. Crocodile? Oh, splendid. One of my favorites. I'm sure you'll do fine. Go on. Excellent. A bit rushed, yet very sentimental. Now sit. Tell me, where did you learn that poem? Fascinating. You are so mature for being such a little girl. How old are you? 7 years and 6 months. What a very uncomfortable age. Now, if you had asked for my advice on the subject, I'd have said, leave off at 7, but it's too late now. Or just jump on up to 8. Ah, 8. What a symmetrical age. I'll ask the questions. Do you play croquet? Splendid. We shall play at once. Au guards! Why, naturally. Now choose a flamingo. For hitting the hedgehog, of course. Are you sure you've played croquet before? Dinah? I've never played with cats before. Well, I will go first. Age before beauty, you know. Thank you. Your turn. Better luck next time. Off with their head. They have one job, one job. Why I have to use cards as my servants and soldiers, I'll never... Ugh. Wonderful, Alice. Would you care for some tarts? You may help yourself. They're cherry. Pity. I always have tarts when playing croquet. It is a wonderful combination. Oh, I love the nests on these. They're so crunchy. Oh, no, dear. That is just what I decided to call the little crust here. When I say a word, it means just what I choose it to mean. Nothing more, nothing less. The question is, which is to be the master, that's all. Well, it looks like I'm just a flamingo's neck in front of you. Thank you, thank you. Now, Alice, wasn't that fun? Thank you. Now I must see to some executions. I have very much enjoyed my time with you. But of course. What else would I mean by off with their head? Well, my child, you are still so young. You'll learn later. Well, seeing that you are so mature for your age, I will tell you some wise words given to me at my coronation. It is better to be feared than loved. And I take pride in how I have reigned over Wonderland. Control is power, and power is control. But you were my guest. Many people have called me that, but remember, Alice, live is merely evil spelled backwards. Ta-ta! Oh yes, I christen it springtime in Wonderland. May flowers bloom and peace abound. Thank you. Don't you worry, Miss Alice. We never actually execute them. I know. We haven't told her. We mend them afterwards. Cards are very mendable. Yes. Feel free to explore. If she wants you, she will find you. She has cards everywhere. I would, but I must be going. Thank you again for the glove. I always seem to be losing one thing or another. Goodbye. Okay, that's the end of scene 5.